Man, my pockets got nines, I'ma need me a masseuse. Man, they already know my name, I don't need to introduce. I be rhyming like I'm Zeus, bring the thunder like I'm Zeus. We can hang like a noose, then you.
So it has now been over a month since the tragic events at Travis Scott's Astroworld Festival in Houston, where now 10 people unfortunately lost their lives. If you aren't too familiar with what all exactly happened, or if you just want to hear all of my thoughts about the festival itself, I already did a whole 20-minute video about it. But now that some time has passed, like it always does in the media cycle, it seems like the media has kind of moved on from talking so much about it. However, as we also just saw, Travis finally broke his silence, aside from the initial apologies that he put out, and sat down with Charlamagne Tha God for about an hour-long interview, which I will be referencing throughout this video. Now I know some people were saying that that interview was a bad PR move by Travis and his team, but I honestly thought that it was much needed, just to be able to hear from Travis himself and really get his side of what happened. But now again that some time has passed, although the families and people close to the festival are still really grieving, and rightfully so, we're still left with the question, what's next for Travis Scott? So I think, as about all of us saw, after the news broke about the festival, Travis Scott began receiving a lot of hate online, as many people just jumped to him as the one to blame for all of this happening. However, if you saw my last video about it all, I don't think he is the one to entirely blame for what happened. But regardless, everyone is entitled to their own opinion and can feel however they want. But again, Travis has been receiving easily the most amount of hate he's ever seen in his career, and cancel culture has definitely been at him lately, as the subreddit, Fuck Travis Scott, was one of the fastest growing subreddits the day it was created, and now has almost 40,000 people. But something that I also wanted to point out is that if we really think about it, this was the first real L that Travis Scott has took in his career. Now again, I don't really think that he is at fault here, and neither does he, as he not only just denied liability and is trying to get these lawsuits dismissed, but he also just said this.
At the end of the day, I just don't, a Travis Scott show or, an Astroworld show, wasn't the bottom line factor of what happened here,
And while he did dodge a lot of the questions about if he takes any type of personal responsibility, that was kind of to be expected, as he's not going to just sit there and admit any blame when he has all of these lawsuits going on at the moment. But with it being the first real sort of dent in his career and reputation, I feel like a lot of the people who were already not fans of Travis before and were kind of waiting for any type of slip-up from him, kind of took this opportunity to really go at him. And then again, as we've seen, so has the cancel culture. Because before all of this happened, Travis Scott was honestly not only one of the most popular rappers, but also one of the most popular artists, and it really seemed like he could do no wrong. So again then, that leaves us with the question, where does Travis Scott go from here? And to start, he stated many times in the interview that his first focus is to figure out what exactly went wrong and caused what happened.
Even just figuring out what the exact solution, what the exact problem of it was, and dialing more into that, I think you can I feel like there is a way. I just think it needs to be time spent on figuring that out.
And as you heard him also mention, he wants to really take time to get to the bottom of what happened. So I think with that being said, we probably won't be seeing much of Travis in these next few months. Exactly how long? Well, nobody really knows. But I would say in terms of his next show, it probably won't be until at least sometime mid to late 2022. As I think for the near future here, Travis needs to and probably will just lay very low, as he's not only again dealing with all this legal stuff, but again I think he needs to let a lot of time pass before making any type of next move for his career. And let's also remember too that Travis is getting ready to welcome his second kid with Kylie Jenner here around February. So that will also be another reason I think we won't be seeing much of Travis anytime soon. However, Drake, or should I call him the guest, as Travis kept referring to him as.
Oh, so you mean after the guest? What you mean?
Yeah, after the guest comes out, the guests get off stage.
But we also saw Drake do his first performance since the Astroworld Festival last week at Kanye's Free Larry Hoover's show. And even though Drake wasn't the face of the festival like Travis, a lot of people still held Drake accountable, as also shown in some of these lawsuits. But yes, Travis Scott will definitely be doing shows again, as I've seen a lot of people say that they don't think he'll ever do another show in his career. Which personally, while I think that that is completely wrong, Travis also talked about his shows in the future and his approach moving forward.
I'll do the same thing I've, been doing, just double, making sure everybody is on post, and, I'll do the, double down on just making sure that everyone is locked in. Everyone is aware, everyone is on response, everybody is on, on it. You know what I'm saying?
So not only did he confirm that he will indeed be doing shows again, but he also stated that he is going to increase his awareness and emphasize safety. And again, he's really taking it on himself to figure out the issue and make sure that it never happens again at any concert.
Be able to just know that I'm going to fix this for the future people, and fix this solution, and fix this problem. I mean, and find a solution to making sure that this doesn't happen in the future, and definitely be a #1 voice for this,
But as we also just saw, it was announced that Travis was being pulled from next year's Coachella Festival. But again, let's think back to what just happened with DaBaby, another rapper who everybody set out to cancel after his comments at Rolling Loud. But then, after about every festival dropped him from their lineup, he let some time pass in the media cycle work, and now he's back to doing shows and festivals again, even performing last weekend at Rolling Loud. But it's also interesting that this Coachella Festival that Travis was set to headline is scheduled for April of next year. And with the news also reporting that Travis and his team were willing to play the show for free before then being dropped, that also tells us that he is at least trying to do shows again as early as April. So while we know that Travis will be doing shows sometime again in the future, will there ever be another Astroworld Festival? Now again, if you saw my last video about it, I said that I don't think we will ever see another Astroworld Festival again. However, when just asked about it, Travis said this.
Yeah, so Astroworld was one of, several ways you gave back to Houston. Do you think you've, lost that privilege to do that?
To be honest, I haven't really thought about that, because I've just been thinking about just community healing, and, the family's healing. But, having a Travis Scott show, we've done shows, all over. That wasn't the, what happened here, something that happened here, and that's why we want to fix it, because it can happen anywhere. You know what I'm saying? And I think once we get further along in that, I think, it'd be a little bit more receptive, I feel.
So even though he said that he hasn't really thought much about it, he kind of sounded like he is still trying to do another festival in the future. While everyone will have different feelings about another Astroworld Festival after what just happened, I can definitely guarantee that if we do see Travis put on another festival, or even just for all his future shows, we will definitely see much improved security and again a much bigger emphasis on safety. So while it's clear now, even though again I had no doubts about it, that we will see Travis get back to performing, there is also the question, what does this mean for Travis's music? Because as we know, Travis has been teasing his upcoming 4th studio album, Utopia, which was looking like it was coming in the near future. However, after all of this happened, I definitely don't think we'll be seeing Travis drop Utopia in these next few months. Again, not only is Travis fighting all of these lawsuits, with one I saw for $10 billion, which I can guarantee that he won't be paying anywhere near that much if anything at all, but he is also fighting his image in the public eye. And I think this interview with Charlamagne was a good first step for him, as again it was not only his first time speaking about it, but it also seemed very genuine and honest, even though Travis did kind of struggle to really convey his thoughts in sentences, with one guy I saw on Reddit even counting that Travis said, 472 times in the 51-minute interview. But it's understandable, as not only is this clearly weighing very heavily on him, but Travis has also never been the best at communicating. But again, back to his music, I don't think we'll see Travis drop anything until again mid to late 2022. at the earliest. Now I have also seen people saying that Utopia is totally scrapped, as I guess Travis took it out of his Instagram bio, but I don't believe he has to or is scrapping it. I think we will definitely see it eventually, as it's also still in his Twitter bio. Now we will probably see him drop a single or something first, but again I don't think it will be any time in the near future, as I just think he needs to lay low here for a while. And he also just put out those 2 singles on the day of the festival. When asked about how this will affect his music going forward, Travis said this.
What happened here wasn't off Travis Scott music.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't, oh, now you need to like switch up. No, I mean, I've made all different type of music in the first place, I've never was just like one lane or one genre of anything in the first place. So I just think it's all about experiences, and I feel like, it could be music to come out of it. Lyricism, just emotion.
So overall, I think it will definitely take some time for Travis to get back to where he was, if we'll ever even see that again. As I also mentioned earlier that he was one of the most popular artists in the world. And in terms of his brand deals and partnerships going forward, which as we saw played a huge role in how popular he got, Travis said this.
If anybody decides to back away from Travis Scott on a corporate level, do you care?
No. But I've never jumped into things with people that didn't know me.
But we did also just see that Cacti, Travis Scott's hard seltzer which launched back in March, was announced that it was going to be discontinued, which then, as a spokesperson for Travis stated, Travis is not focused on business right now and his priority is helping his community and fans heal. But the deal with Cacti's manufacturer, Anheuser-Busch, was also already set to expire on November 30th. So who knows if or when we'll ever see Cacti's back on the shelves. As a source also said that it's more of a temporary hold rather than it being discontinued. But after something incredibly tragic like this happened, and with it being his own festival, people are going to jump to Travis to blame, and this will always be remembered in his career. Even though again, I don't think it was entirely his fault. It just sucks for everyone involved in this. Not only the families of the people who lost their lives, as this will forever affect them, or the people who also went to the festival and now have to deal with all of this trauma, but also for Travis Scott, as I can't even imagine how he must have felt after hearing what happened. And again, like he stated, he never had any idea of what was going on and was never told to stop the show.
When did you find out things got as bad as they did? Now that's the question everybody wants to know.
Yeah, it wasn't really until like minutes until like the press conference until I figured out exactly what happened. You stop the show, but if something's gonna happen, if it's something detrimental, somebody's gonna let you know, or the show would just stop. And that just wasn't the case. I just kind of stopped the show. You just ask, you have a call and response with the fans. You try to generally get a response, but if you don't get like a hard stop, it's just you just go off of what's going on,
So again, RIP to those who unfortunately lost their lives at this festival. And in terms of Travis Scott, I really hope he can clear some of this up and then really be able to find some type of peace with himself. As you could just see that all of this has been weighing very heavily on him. And again, nobody, including himself, ever wanted anything like this to happen. But it will be interesting to see how it plays out going forward. So that'll do it for this video on Travis Scott. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about all of this. And if you haven't yet, please do me a favor and drop a like for me. And also be sure to hit that subscribe button to stay tuned for new videos every week. I also wanted to mention that I finally started an Instagram page for the channel, so be sure to also check that out as well.
They was like Ray Charles, didn't see my vision. Only need one shot, don't need no provision. Man, I don't need no permission when I'm whipping in the kitchen. When I'm scraping all these bowls, it is like I'm doing dishes. I ain't worried about that girl, could've see got lots of fishes. I ain't really read the terms or agree to those conditions. I ain't really come from rags, but I'm